I think this topic is largely on AI, and we hear so much about banking and in how AI will enter, but I think very little practical sense on how the ecosystem will fall in place. So this session is largely about how banks should ideally be transforming themselves in this journey. And can somebody please ensure that the door is closed or the noise is not that high from outside, please? Yeah, yeah. No, not. I think it's coming from somebody's putting up a huge mic there. Okay, so I think AI, Gen AI, obviously we have seen great impact. Of late, if not anything else, how many of you using Gen AI right now or ChatGPT right now? Okay, it's as much as maybe WhatsApp, right? So it is what it is. I'm sure in the general parlance, the amount of time we spend in our consulting business, I think a lot of support has come from Gen AI as well. So I think, and while we do this Gen AI usage and all of that, there's also a lot of challenges with respect to maybe the risk involved with data and data privacy and DPDPA coming in. So I think, Mr. Nagraj, I wanted to understand first your perspective. How does this AI sort of change the priorities of the banking segment, and how do you see the vision going forward with AI coming in place? And now it is there.
Yes, Samit, thank you. I think we have seen in this small hall, I think virtually everyone started using. See, bank is nothing but actually we serve community. So community, whether you like it or dislike, actually community started using AI and Gen AI. So banks have no option actually. So we have to be in the business, we have to be in the community, so we have to use AI and Gen AI. There is no option actually. Only thing is that whether we need to use immediately in all areas or in selective areas, that's what is a debate. So that's where actually most of the boards are spending time on that actually. But if you see, priority is always wherever ROI is very high actually. Though investments are very small, but preference is where exactly it is immediately improving my operational efficiency, where actually it is differentiating my customer experiences. So these are the two areas where banks are willing to spend immediately. But actually it will have an impact on almost all our operations actually. You say X department, Y department, I think basically it is a technology tool and it can be used in almost all departments. Only thing is that actually there is a need for collaboration. In the legacy organizations, not only in our bank, in most of the banks what happens is actually departments will not talk to IT and digital teams and the digital teams will not talk to departments. So that's where actually real collaboration, if a marriage happens actually, real innovations can come. But otherwise, actually see others, how they are using and then try to implement. So this is what is.
And maybe while we're talking about multiple areas, any specific area you are thinking where the usage will be higher before we proceed?
See, basically, we have already started using on risk assessment, credit underwriting, actually, especially very small loans where actually, critical thinking, what we say, which is not very important. So we have started using for, loans up to 25 lakhs. If experience is very good, actually, we have extended it to up to 50 lakhs. Then when experience is very good, there is no difference between a human judgment and machine judgment, then actually we extended it up to 1 crore. And for renewals, we are actually planning to take it up to 5 crores. So this is where actually one critical usage where people are very, very happy. Branches actually got a lot of free time now. Otherwise, a lot of time is being spent for renewals, reviews, all this, that. But now actually system is deciding within a 10, 15 minutes what they used to do it in, say, 15, 20 days time. It used to take for most of the relationship managers and branches. So, and for investment decisions and maybe fraud monitoring. So these are and the scenario planning. These are the areas where actually technically we can use.
Yes. Brilliant. And Shalini, you have been leading this ecosystem as I spoke about a few minutes back. We learned a lot from Rajiv sir, and I think you have always been there. it is so surprising. I don't know how you manage your calendar. When I reach out to her, the response is within seconds. Okay, amazingly good. So I think thank you for supporting us and joining us.
Just that's a natural response. I don't have a bot responding. Okay.
No, I think, and that's being so prompt, right? So, and within the ecosystem, I think if somebody, some bank is known for a deep partnership, Federal Bank has been there. I think for last decade or so, I think the kind of partnership we have seen, the kind of roles we have seen coming out, and almost all relationship has been sustained. So I think before we get into AIPs, maybe a quick view on how you run these partnerships as well, right?
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And Samir, you guys have created a huge franchise here. So congratulations to you. And all the best for the rest couple of days. Honored to be actually in a session moderated by Samir himself. So thank you for that. But before I think just a few lines on fintechs, while it's not relevant to the topic of the panel discussions, and Samir had asked for it. From a federal bank perspective, as Samir rightly said, we've been on this journey of making sure that we collaborate with fintechs, we don't compete with them. This journey started a few years back when we sat together and decided that from a strategic perspective, it's important that, fintechs are such an integral part of the ecosystem that, we have to create the capability to work with them. So we did the groundwork in terms of ensuring we had the API gateways. We have a very, very robust fintech onboarding platform, literally the criteria that we do to evaluate fintechs, etc. And since then, we've progressed, as you said, on a partnership. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of rigor, discipline, collaboration, etc. And we've reached a stage where strategically we do believe we have the right set of partnerships that can take our business to a next level. What is important is that there has to be a strategic imperative to do partnerships. There's no point doing partnerships just for the sake of partnerships, So for us, the strategic imperative was very clear from Federal Bank's perspective. One was to attract the customer segment who are not normally attracted to the Federal brand. The Federal brand is very well known for the small and medium enterprises, the catchment area. We are not really very well known for the Gen Z, the mobile-friendly population. So these partnerships helped us to reach out to those customers. The second was our balance sheet was such that it was very, very heavily skewed in favor of secured assets. We are still very good on home loans, loans against property, car loans, collateralized business banking loans. But we needed to expand our return on assets, and things like credit cards, personal loans would help us on that. So we went into partnerships for that. So that's really where it is on the fintech. We still think if any of you look at our investor pack, for example, which we put out every quarter, last Monday we would have put out our third quarter investor pack, you'll see at least 2, if not 3 slides devoted to partnerships. That's the kind of transparency we have on our partnerships. So that's where we are, Samir, on the partnership journey. But, that's the time for another topic. We can get back to AI, right?
I jumped it. I just used this opportunity,
yeah,
right?
Thank you.
So I think, my own experience, maybe at least 6-7 years back, we were trying to do AI for a client. We could not integrate AI in the journey, right? There will be data scientists doing their own models, and we could not incorporate much. From your perspective, what has been your experience in bringing AI into the real business, not in sessions and panels, but in real business? And along with it, when you do it, what is the experience what is the role humans play in the whole journey rather than saying that either or other one, but how do you coexist?
Yeah. So from a Federal Bank perspective, first of all, I think the jury is still out to a very large extent on AI, Samir. I do believe there are use cases which are really strong and can be explored further, but there is a lot more that needs to be done. The first thing that we have done in Federal Bank is kind of making sure the organization as a whole understands AI more than anything else. So a couple of things we did in that direction over the last 12 months. First, we've done a very in-depth session with our board of directors on AI by bringing in a couple of experts from outside, as well as some internal evangelists, if I can call it, on AI. So we did a session for our board, and the board has asked us to repeat that session every 6 months because the understanding has to come from the top. Unless the board of directors appreciate the power of AI, you can't really set the strategic imperative for the organization. So we've done that and we'll continue to do that. The second thing is we actually had about, I think it was about 7,000, which is about 50% of our workforce, going through a small module of e-learning on AI. We told them it's imperative for them to understand it and appreciate it. It may not be relevant for a, for a assistant manager in a branch handling customers. Immediate relevance may not be there, but unless you understand AI, you really can't be a banker. So we told our people to go through it, and it was voluntary, but about 50% of our people actually went through the program. That was the second thing. The third thing is we've actually created a center of excellence, a little fancy name, no doubt, but we've created a center of excellence in Bangalore, which is housed with a cross-functional team. And I think that alludes to what Nagraj was also saying, which is this has to be cross-functional. It has to have business, it has to have IT, it has to have our digital team, it has to have all of them put together, because this cannot be seen as IT will do it and everybody else will look at what IT is doing and wait and watch. That doesn't work in this kind of environment. So this cross-functional team has come together in Bangalore, and we've created a center of excellence, and we've given them to some extent a mandate as well as the latitude to experiment with a lot of things, to do a lot of stuff on the AI side. Some may fail, some may thrive, some may kind of middle along, we don't know. But only time will tell, but we've given them that. So these organizational guardrails have been set in place to set us up for success. What have we actually done? First, the lowest hanging fruit for everybody I know in this room as well as outside would be on customer service. I think all of us recognize the fact that customer service is probably the easiest battle to win when it comes to the use of AI. So we have a chatbot. Most of you may have, if you seen our website, you'll see Fedi out there. Fedi is our chatbot. Fedi has taken away a fairly large number of queries from the call center. So we've been able to rationalize some of our people in the call center because Fedi answers the queries. So that's been the lowest hanging fruit. The other is, again, Nagraj mentioned it, is credit underwriting. I think there's a little bit of grayness in that as to whether it's AI, machine learning. They all kind of merge along the way, get blurred along the way. But yes, like other banks, we've done a lot of machine learning models for credit underwriting. Our entire credit cards, personal loans is only underwritten on models. We don't do any physical underwriting or credit analysts. We use models for ML-led models for propensity to default, etc. So that's been the second area. The couple of experiments we're doing, one of the big things we're doing, which should hopefully go live very soon, is something to help our internal employees. The background to this is Federal Bank's workforce has been expanding over the last few years. We're now at about 15,000 people and relatively young. A lot of probationary officers. It's sometimes difficult for them to understand, what do you do when, God forbid, a customer dies, what do you need to do? With the best of training, it's very difficult because each of them may come across this case only once in a, once in an occasion, not very often. So we have, all of us, I'm sure, have circulars and all that stuff on the website, but it's difficult to search. So we're putting an internal chatbot, which is literally like a chat GPT for internal purposes. That should go live shortly, and that should help answer these queries so that it also relates to the mindset of a youngster who's joining the organization. The other is a very different thing that we've done, which I think, Samir, I spoke to you about when we were chatting about the session. This is a little out of the ordinary. We've done something around our off-site ATM monitoring. All of you know that off-site ATMs are one of the most difficult properties to keep in a spick and span condition. Unless you put security guards there who are cleaning it up ever so often, it becomes dirty, it becomes, it's anathema to our brand. But we were struggling a little bit with that. So we did an experiment which has proved to be successful, which is, we've got cameras obviously in those locations. The cameras take the images of these ATMs, compare it to a set of images of what a clean ATM should look like, and compare the two and beep out an alert to say, hey guys, ATM number 1101 situated in ABC location needs attention. So at least the ATM monitoring cell, which works 24/7, is able to pick that up and send somebody across to get it cleaned up. So we've done that, and that's proved to be quite eminently successful. It's helped us improve the quality of our ATMs. So overall, I think two parts to it. One, you have to get the culture right, you have to get the organizational fitment right, and two, you have to continually experiment, keep trying. Some may be successful, some may not be. You should be ready to accept the fact that not everything will be successful.
No, fair. I think this is really deep. This is really deep. So maybe, Nagraj sir, from your perspective, as we embed AI in our workflows, it will get a bit more complicated, at least on day one before it settles down. So how would you define the roles of each person, let's say in credit or in operations, and how do we fine tune, I mean, some of the skills which they need to have as we talk about, but how will the roles change in each area? What will the branch manager do as we see, and there's so much talk about now agentic AI, right? So how would humans work, right? And how do you make them ready for it?
So I think morning also I had a conversation with my friend. So actually AI, and actually it cannot replace human intelligence. So human intelligence will continue to be critical. So AI cannot be smarter than you actually. So it can take a lot of repetitive works, but which is actually problem solving skills, which all of us have, critical thinking. I think those things cannot be replaced. So over a period of time, what I feel is anyway, requirements have gone up. So I think AI will help us to take out low hanging jobs, maybe repetitive sort of works. Like for example, whatever I have quoted for review renewals of small loans. But if it goes to 50 crores, still I think problem solving skills, critical thinking which is required, I think that will continue to be very, very important role. So this is just for easy example I have given. So wherever some real, decision making is required, I think human intelligence will continue to be there. I think we need to collaborate with the AI rather than competing with the AI. So that's where actually that will enhance actually our efficiency and of course customer experience also.
Any thoughts on any specific workflows will change, maybe a call center side or how we deal with the branches? Maybe when I go to the branches, what will change? I'm just trying to think through the scenarios which maybe some of the fintechs can try to build here based on the thoughts, right?
Of course, this is what actually we can have a number of workshops. Actually, it is basically technology tool. That's what I was saying. So how we can use in each scenario, I think that depends on actually this one. See, coming to call center, definitely actually whenever actually all of you would have experienced call center experience.
No, I think we don't, most of them would not be experienced because nobody wants to experience, right? You call a call center and gone.
Correct. Dial 5, dial 6, dial 7. So those things will continue to be there. So what AI can do is actually complete 360 degree of the customer can give. Proactively, a call center representative can pick up and actually, he can say what exactly customer wants and he can service within what he can do within 10 minutes. Actually, if he can do it within a minute, I think that is what customer wants actually. As far as branch it is concerned, actually, today's context, actually, most of them, they don't have a time to spend a lot of time with the customers. So whenever customer visits a branch, if you can get everything in a single dashboard automatically, I think that will help him to talk to customer more effectively, communicate properly, rather than guessing or actually trying to do actually personalization. So what I call it as a hybrid way of servicing the customer. I think you will get a lot of digital support about the customer. Then add actually your communication skills and maybe a little bit of selling skills, marketing skills. I think that will be the game changer actually. So that whenever customer visits, actually you spend a lesser time and a productive time.
So I think if I can add to that, Sameer, just to, very well said by Nagraj. This whole customer communication area obviously is one of the areas that AI lends itself to. But having said that, personally for me, I do believe there is a dilemma. So we have chatbots. We all have chatbots, and we do answer chatbots. But there are a couple of areas where, personally, I have been very apprehensive about allowing AI in. I'll be honest. Social media responses. We have a 24/7 team of people who actually obviously look at all the social media and respond it, and it's right now completely human driven. Because I do believe the nuances that come out of it are best understood by humans. So this is an area where me and my team are having, honestly, some very fruitful debates. I've been kind of drawing the line and saying, guys, beyond a point, I'm not comfortable if AI will understand it. I'm happy for you guys to take it to a level where the AI suggests a response, but I want a human overlay over that, because nobody, you can never understand if he's being sarcastic or if he's being actually, genuine. So those nuances are very difficult for AI to understand. So I think the hybrid that you spoke about is probably the way I would think most of us will have to go forward. There will have to be a hybrid approach, because nothing can honestly replace the creativity and the problem-solving skills of a human being. So how do you bring that hybrid to the force? How do you make sure, particularly for banking, because it's complex, it's not easy sometimes, you never understand what exactly is the customer saying. You have to get into it to understand it. So we've moving, right now our entire online reputation management is done by 24/7 human agents. We're going to start a small experiment which says we will do this hybrid approach. I am still apprehensive. I'm really worried about what the quality will be like. I'm worried that it will get into some kind of a viral network saying, customer saying the agent didn't understand. But I'm happy to experiment with a hybrid model. Will I let it go completely AI? Maybe after I retire.
So I think there is a saying in consulting that when we ask questions to some of the consultants, so the answer is ChatGPT ne yehi bataya. So that is the answer, right? So I think this right now my worry is that human intelligence will go away after some time. Each one of us remember the mobile numbers, right? Or phone numbers. I don't know who remembers, because system takes over. So
which is very true. Other than my own number, I don't think I know any other number.
I remember my wife's number. So I think the challenge largely is that my biggest worry, I know it's just like this thing. Human intelligence, my worry is will go away after some times, because we say humans are more intuitive and all of that. But fact of the matter is that once they have some tool in hand, they forget to think, right? So I think I find so many activities done and responses come. Even in LinkedIn, so much of it's just ChatGPT, right? So much of insights. Agentic AI came and everybody became expert because it was ChatGPT response. I think that's worry is there. And also the other second side is that human intelligence, I totally agree with you, but it also comes with a different thing that not all humans can actually do that high level thinking. And a lot of roles in the real world need average thinking, right? So I think the challenge will be when you have that much of insights coming from the tools, how do you ensure that somebody who sits on top of that has better insight, deeper insights, which can make it happen? That means that will be far richer training to be done than what we think. Otherwise, what happens in the branch, you take the most complicated calls to the center office, and there'll be very 3, 4, 10 insightful people deciding. So I think that's my worry, that everything will go down because it's readily available, right? So पहले तो हमको mobile ने मार दिया by looking at YouTube and Facebook. Now ChatGPT is the next level. Yeah.
I completely agree, Samir, with you. That's why what we did is, again, though actually a system will actually decide whether to give a loan or not. So finally, before handing over the check, actually we have asked customer come to the branch and talk to our branch head. So otherwise, actually, things can go wrong, actually. That's why I think we have introduced this. Just to know, instead of actually this one, just before taking the check, just to have a conversation with our branch head or asset officer, so that actually, at least for larger loans, not for smaller loans, so that actually, they assess that portion also. Otherwise, everything is ready for a branch head to sign and give.
No, I agree. Just one point, just check with your kids. 90% of the kids right now are responding on all assignments using ChatGPT, including mine, okay? And when the assignment comes, it takes 5 minutes to respond. Teacher ko bhi samajh mein nahi aayega. Teacher ko bhi pata hai kya ho raha hai. So let's move on to maybe the last pointer here.
Just on that point, but Sameer, wouldn't it become kind of, would all students end up submitting the same text for the assignment?
Sad part is teacher also is generating the same maybe. Yeah. Because that exists, right? The question was...
Sorry, I'm still old school on this, okay?
But
check
again,
with the kids.
Again, no. I think it generates actually. But again, if it is this one, you need to add your little bit of intelligence. Actually, by adding that, actually you can enhance effectiveness. Otherwise, simply whatever is there in the open source, I think it will take, and actually it may not be relevant. It can give a...
I'm telling you the truth, Gen Z and beyond, which is the, I think Gen Alpha, I don't know what they call it. They just don't care, I don't know. So anyway, the last question from my perspective would be that we talk a lot about the regulations and all. So maybe a question to you would be, from a use case perspective, how do we take care of regulatory compliance and DPDPA while we use maybe Gen AI, NAI for all insights? How do we control, how do we ensure that it's explained back? And RBI also has a clear view that it has to be taken care of. So any quick thoughts on that?
It is a matter of time, is likely to come. So all of us are working at the board levels, actually how to implement effectively. So I think what is very, very important is, I think data ownership, which is there today also, but I think we need to have a more formal this one. So data classification and access protocols, and customer consent and the management of customer consent. I think those are becoming very, very important. And when you work with a lot of outside vendors or outsourced vendors, fintech companies, I think some more due diligence validation is required before getting into this one, because you have to honor law. They also, whoever is partnering with you, who is collaborating with you, I think he should also give a equal validity or respect to those laws, so that actually both of us together can work and respect those laws. Otherwise, actually, if you don't do proper due diligence, validation on your fintech partner, and it should be on a continuous basis. I think these are the 2-3 things which we need to do immediately, so that actually, immediately we'll be in a position to implement these.
I think to add to that...
and of course, RBI is also working, I think, as a regulator. They are also working very clearly, actually, where to use as a responsible AI. Under Professor Bhattacharya, IIT professor, there also some committee has been formed. So they are going to give a report to the RBI. I think a regulator also will help us to implement it properly. Yes, madam.
So I think on the whole privacy issue, obviously DPDP, etc., is definitely out there. And I think there are kind of two sides to it. As a customer, if I look at it from a customer viewpoint, I absolutely enjoy the point that I get personalized, feedback. For example, I'm in a particular location and the bank is able to tell me, here are the offers. You are in this location, here are the offers that can be availed on your credit card. Absolutely personalized communication helps a lot. Not just helps the bank in terms of response rates, but I think the customer also appreciates it. So it's not like spaghetti on the wall, I'm just throwing everything at him. So clearly customers also appreciate it. The flip side of the coin is the need to ensure that there is absolute transparency with the customer and his or her consent is taken. And the consent, letter and spirit is always there. So how do you make sure it's not like a tick box exercise? The customer should really be able to appreciate and understand what are we using it. In India, that is difficult because I'm not talking about the urban population like the people in this room going through a fintech summit, but the millions of our people who are there. So how do you get consent in a form and fashion which they can relate to very clearly? And that's what I believe DPDP will help achieve. It'll happen over a period of time. It won't happen overnight. Banks like us will also have to step up the act to make sure we do this in letter and spirit. But the benefits of it are really true. Benefits not just for the bank, I'm talking even for the customer. The benefits of getting customized, offers, the benefits of getting customized notifications, etc. The benefits of all that will really help. One last thing on AI that I think we should all appreciate and understand very clearly, and this is something that RBI is really working on with RBIH, is the use of AI and pattern recognition for things like money mule identification. That's a fantastic initiative in my view. RBIH, as you know, is doing that. If those of you are not familiar, please look it up because the governor did address it in his last monetary policy address, and a couple of banks have already started working with RBIH on it. In my view, that project, once it kind of becomes ubiquitous in the industry as a whole, will be hugely beneficial. All of us who are bankers know the challenges we're facing with money mules and the related issues on that. So the money mule, mulehunter.ai project is clearly something that we in Federal Bank, we are in the pilot with RBIH on this, along with Canara Bank, and we're looking forward to that becoming an industry-wide initiative. That, I think, is clearly something that AI will win trumps on, in my view.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I think we'll use this opportunity for just maybe one or two questions if audience has one. No, you have raised your hands really fast. I think over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Farhan. I'm the head of marketing for Clarify. Great discussions here on AI. So I think AI is getting smarter and so as humans as well, right? So Samir sir, as you mentioned, if you can, when you see content over there, you know that's AI generated, right? When you see, get a call, you know that's an AI generated call. So the question for you, Shalini ma'am, is that do you see that your customers are hesitating to respond or adopt to AI enabled programs or features that you are trying to implement, right? Do you see any hesitation? Because as a customer, I still love talking to a human than to an AI bot, right? So that was my first question. And second question is, if you still see hesitation, then the push for AI, is it due to just cost savings or what is it? Like, why are we really pushing AI? Is it because everyone is doing it or what is it? So that was.
So I think two parts to it, as two questions that you have. First one, I don't think we're seeing material hesitation. At least I haven't seen material hesitation in customers accepting AI as the go forward for basic queries, for basic responses. The customers also in their mind do some trade-offs, right? How much time do I have to spend? What is the kind of query I have, etc. So I don't see material hesitation in the minds of the customers on that. Obviously, the AI has to be some way smart and intelligent to understand. And I think it's also important to know when to switch to a human. If you can get that thing, I'm not saying we've perfected it, but if we can get that right, I think customers will be generally okay. So my view is that I think customers accept the fact that this is the way forward. They just want to make sure that their time is efficiently spent. Nobody likes banking, right? I don't think anybody likes banking, right? So no, they want to make sure that it's super efficient and gets it done as soon as possible. To your second one, the imperative is really, in my view, two things. Cost efficiency, no doubt about it. Banks are, margins are under pressure. All of that stuff is happening in the banking industry. So costs need to become super efficient and things. So there is clearly benefits from a cost standpoint. The second is, I think, the ability to do customized experiences for customers, which I think AI will make a big difference on, subject to customer consent, etc. That, I think, is a revenue enhancing. So both cost efficiency and revenue enhancement will come from different aspects of AI, in my view. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are running short of time, so we'll pause now. But I think exciting times ahead. I think from a market perspective, AI is in. I think what I remember in 2017, we did an activity to accelerate the AI startups in 2017-18. And unfortunately, none of them survived this journey. I think this is a different time. It is a time where people are using it in real time all the time, and the bankers also understand, the fintechs also understand the power of it. We have an accelerator running. In that accelerator, I think the most of the entities out there are actually AI companies right now. VCs are investing heavily into AI. So I think time is right, and I'm sure all banks are also looking for same solutions. So we're in the right time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for your support. This is great. Thank you.
What a wonderful discussion and so relevant in today's time. Thank you so much. We would like to present you with a token of our appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, can we again have a huge round of applause for Ms. Shalini Warrior, Executive Director, Federal Bank, and Mr. Nagraj Garla, Executive Director, IDBI Bank, please. Thank you.